The School of Influence, where legends are made and legacies are started. Interviews and insights to grow your impact on social media, networking, and stages. Class is now in session.
We're gonna take on the world.
60,000 people packed into a stadium. This time it wasn't for a Super Bowl and not for a rock concert. Instead, it was for a funeral. Hands down, it was an amazing worship. Tears were streaming, and a widow on stage declaring forgiveness for the man who murdered her husband. This wasn't a revival night. This was a memorial for Charlie Kirk. Now, you may not like Charlie Kirk. You may disagree with him. You may not even follow politics at all. But here's the truth. His life touched you, impacted you. It influenced you. His voice has shaped conversations on campuses, in Congress, and now in living rooms. You felt it. Whether you embrace it or you push it away, it had influence on you. And if you wait, if you look, you're going to see why this story isn't really about Charlie at all. You're going to see that he brought this on because it's about you. It's about me. And that's where the weight of this entire show lands. Because this isn't just about Charlie Kirk. This is a heart check for the church as a whole. As you guys know, at 18, Charlie started Turning Point USA. He started out of a parents' garage. I mean, come on, think about it. While most teenagers are figuring out what prom dates, he was actually figuring out how to mobilize a generation. His vision that he had from God. From the small start, all the way brought up to thousands of chapters across America. You see, influence doesn't wait for permission. It responds to the vision. Now that is kingdom. You can't disagree with that, because Nehemiah built the walls of Jerusalem because God gave him favor with the king. And Charlie built platforms because he believed campuses were the mission fields. We have to recognize that this next generation is the one that's coming up to make a difference. But here's what touches us the most. Every platform, whether it be your workplace, your social media, your kitchen table, all these things can be a pulpit if you see through the kingdom eyes and have the heart of the Father. So, what platform in your life have you been treating as ordinary when God's been waiting for you to treat it as a pulpit? So people can look at your life and be able to say, that is a man of God. That is a woman of God. Whether you speak it or you live it. Either way, you need to be using it as a pulpit. Charlie was bold. He was bold enough to stir applause and anger. Whether it was about immigration, gender, climate, Islam, he touched nerves everywhere he went. But here's the thing. He opened up discussions, healthy discussions, and asked questions and allowed people to question him. But here's where it really hits. When people hate you, is it because of Christ or is it because of your pride? Well, pardon the interruption, but let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like your story was meant to impact thousands or millions of lives, but you literally just didn't know where to start? Did you know that there's over 2.9 billion people watching social media every single day? That's literally the biggest stage in the entire world. And yet most people are completely invisible on it. Why? Because they don't know how to tell their story in a way that actually connects to other people. And that, my friends, is exactly why I created Stories to Stages. We help you craft your entire story, professionally edit your video, and then we publish it across all major platforms. Plus, I'm going to give you access to my entire storytelling bootcamp. This is over $25,000 worth of value, but right now you can get the entire thing for just $7. $7. Because this isn't just a course. This is a launching pad. We've helped people with no audience, no experience, finally share their story with confidence and to get real reach. Because your story told in the right way involves and moves people. So go to stories2stages.com and grab your $7 spot with the code of podcast1. Your story was not meant to stay silent. So let's get seen, let's get heard, let's get paid, and let's set people free. So go to stories2stages.com, grab your $7 spot, and use the code podcast1 and get yours today. Now, back to the show. Because Jesus offended so many people, but his offense always came from a heart set of love. Truth without love is a weapon, but love without truth is a weakness. If people walk away from your conversation not closer to conviction, then they're not resisting the cross, they're resisting us. And if the only fragrance that people catch from you is pride, don't blame Jesus for the smell that you're putting off. Charlie did amazing things, and while you don't have to agree with everything, he's made an influence on your life. September 10th changed the trajectory of the world. Whether you want it to or not, it did. Because in Utah Valley University, Charlie was doing what he did best. He had students asking questions, and all of a sudden, a shot was fired. 31 years old. Gone. Whether you believe in a conspiracy theory or it was fake, any of those things, can we just acknowledge that a life was taken? If you believe it was political, if you believe it was a gimmick, there's a heart posture within us as believers, of influencers, of kingdom influencers, that what you say and what you believe carries weight. He's 31 years old, gone, leaving 2 precious kids and a wife. But what did it ultimately reveal? Because it revealed the sickness in our culture. It revealed the sickness in our church as a whole. One side wept, the other side cheered. People actually celebrated a man's death. While some people didn't agree with him, some people stood and wept and were heartfelt and grieved of a life lost. But when death comes and becomes entertainment, we've lost the sight of the image of God. But where's the church? We don't understand. We don't answer hate with hate. Ephesians 6 clearly tells us what this whole thing is about and where this division is breaking down the middle. We do not wrestle against flesh and blood. Our fight isn't against other people. It's against the darkness that's fueling the division. And the church is playing right into it. When non-believers can see that the church is split, there's an ecclesia that's supposed to be rising as a governing place in the spiritual realms. How can we expect to take territory and advance the kingdom if the ecclesia can't agree? So when hate explodes, will we mirror it, or are we going to actually model Christ? Every tragedy is a mirror. What your reflection is, whether it's going to be revenge or is it going to be redemption? Because then came the memorial. 60,000 people in person, over 100 million people watching online. There was worship. There was politics. There was grief. The first time that an entire cabinet and the president and vice president come together to be able to remember a life. The gospel. You cannot argue that the gospel of Jesus Christ was ministered and released, including an altar call across the world over 100 million people watching. And there was probably more than that. But the loudest sermon on that day didn't actually come from the president. It didn't come from the pastor or any other politician. It came from the widow. The widow, Erica Kirk, the brave, passionate, boldful woman of Erica Kirk. 29-year-old widow, she stood up and she looked at a nation. Many people are saying, well, she's an actress. She was just acting. She was giving it all. If you just lost your closest friend, your loved one, and you had to stand up in front of 60,000 people and deliver a message from the heart, it may seem a little acting as well, because she's holding back her grief. She's holding back her pain. But what she did was unbelievable. She spoke the words, "I forgive him." Now, I guarantee there wasn't a dry eye in that entire place. It wasn't a dry eye across the TVs or across the phones, across social media. Because that's not a natural thing. That's supernatural. That is the church. That is kingdom. Her forgiveness was louder than every other speech. Her powerful, powerful words rose higher and louder than any chant that was there, because she spoke exactly what Jesus did. Father, he does not know what he did. I forgive him. But here's the question. Could you forgive someone like that? Without Christ? Absolutely not. It's not even possible. With Christ, you can't afford not to. Forgiveness is heaven's hammer. It smashes the chains that no courtroom could ever break. And here's the thing. I believe that there's a lot of people who don't believe this is true and are refusing to be able to see because their blinders are on, because they have someone to forgive. They can't even forgive somebody that is giving the gospel message because of something that they were offended by, something that they didn't like that this person said. And so, after his death, America's completely split. Some call him a martyr. Others mocked his entire memory and his entire life. But both sides seem to miss the middle area of the Father's heart. Yes, if you go extreme right, there's idolizing a man who doesn't save us. And on the left area, there's celebrating his death. That doesn't even heal us. Eternity doesn't care if Charlie was a martyr or if he was a menace. Instead, eternity asks us this: did his life point people to Christ? And eternity asks the same about you. Because posting things all over social media, going live, sharing on TV, all these things, you're judged for your words and the heart behind it. Do you recognize that there are people that I've spent time talking to over the last 2 weeks that are questioning Christianity, questioning Jesus because of some of the very hurtful things that they have seen leaders say? You recognize that, positive or negative, we will all be judged for our actions. We will all be judged for our influence. We will all be judged for the heart that we carry and that we release. Your obituary won't matter in heaven. Your influence for Christ will. What you say carries power. So what's God saying to us all through this? Well, I believe it's 3 things. First, the Father's heart doesn't see red or blue states. He sees his sons and daughters. Are we not the body of Christ? Second, the ecclesia governs things differently. We are called to be set apart, not by rage, not by revenge, but by grace. Give grace from a heart posture of the kingdom of heaven. Grace that disarms the hate and mercy that heals division. When are we going to allow, number 3, Christ to be the center? Every time we quote a politician louder than we quote Jesus, every time we tie our identity to a party more than to the kingdom, we've drifted. Guys, if your passion burns hotter for a movement than it does for the Messiah, for the message, you've lost the plot of the story. America doesn't need another political savior. It needs a church on fire for Jesus, not arguing all over social media. So let me close with this. My friends, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, who do you need to forgive in this moment? And where is your heart postured right now? You can be upset. You can be angry. Okay. But are you acting in the way that Christ would act? The one who sat and ate with sinners and tax collectors. Think about it. Think about the person that you need to forgive. Think about that person whose name makes your chest absolutely tighten. Forgiveness doesn't excuse them. It frees you. Where's your heart been hardened at? Is it against the conservatives or against the liberals? The cross doesn't give you permission to pick sides on mercy. Both sides are loved by God. And what the kingdom says is, are you really serving? If it's not Christ, it won't last. But are you Christ? Because you will last. You can win every argument online and still lose every soul around you. That's not kingdom influence. You're just creating more noise. Don't just react to the news. Respond to the spirit inside of you. You guys, Charlie Kirk's life touched us all. You can't deny it. But the real question is, will you walk away unchanged, or will you pull something kingdom out of it? And here's what I really want you to hear from the entire beginning of this. Because the real story isn't Charlie. It's yours. His chapter is finished, and it's a shame. But my friends, yours is still being written. And when your story is told, may it be said that you didn't just chase influence. You carried the kingdom influence that outlived you. Legacy isn't left in headlines. It's left in hearts. And today, I want to ask you, where is your heart? Because your influence makes a difference. But for today, school is dismissed. But your influence never takes a day off. So stay bold, stay focused, and go and leave your legacy.